So Eric and Veronika, you two are founders of San Francisco Polaris Insight Center. Um, we'll be talking about the center more, but maybe just a little thumbnail to start with. Tell us about the center.
Yeah, great. Delighted to be here. And so we are co-founders of Polaris Insight Center together with our colleague, Dr. Harvey Schwartz, and originally as well, two other founders. And so we started the Polaris in 2018, and it came from all of us co-founders meetings through the MAPS MDMA-assisted psychotherapy training. So we were
MAPS,
all
yes, yeah,
therapists there, and there was just kind of this way how we met and realized we had so many values and vision in common, and then some of us started working with ketamine in other settings and in other clinics, and then we decided to come together and start Polaris, and so that's been almost 4 years ago now.
Tell us something about your backgrounds for doing this work. And that'll be Eric and Veronika that question goes to.
So, yeah, I'm a clinical psychologist, have a private practice in San Francisco, and one of the co-founders of Polaris. I have had a long-standing interest in the healing through non-ordinary states of consciousness. Mm-hmm. And I am also trained psychoanalytically in my kind of graduate years. And then I did a postdoc specialization in treating chronic pain for a couple of years. And so that's kind of my brief background, and then got involved with MAPS and the MAPS training in around 2016. And
yeah, you said something like you had a long-standing interest in non-ordinary states. I don't remember the wording, but
of consciousness.
Yeah. And when did that start? What was the first thing that tickled you in that direction?
Well, I'll just share that I struggled with depression in my late teens and early 20s, and was seeking out different ways to combat the depression. And I had a LSD experience when I was a young man, and it was in a very supportive setting. It was actually in my home, and my mother was my guide.
Wow.
Amazing.
And I had a mystical experience, and it profoundly changed my outlook on life, my relationship with myself, and my future interests. I was, after that experience, was so hungry to understand what that experience is all about. I was reading spiritual texts and mystical poetry and psychedelic research, and trying to really kind of integrate that into my worldview.
Yeah, so I come originally from the Czech Republic, and so I grew up under the communist regime, and
Wow.
When I was a teenager, everything shifted after the fall of the Soviet Union, and a lot of therapists and researchers and people who were outside of the Czechoslovakia came back for conferences and offerings. And so when I was 16, almost 17, I had the opportunity to go to a transpersonal conference where I saw Stanislav Grof and other presenters, and that sparked my interest, and went through my own personal healing of personal and really collective trauma that I lived through, mostly using holotropic breathwork. And so, the holotropic breathwork facilitators as well talked about, Stan's work and using non-ordinary states and psychedelics for mental health healing. And that, led to my interest of becoming a psychologist and coming to California, where I knew Stan was teaching at the CIIS. And so then I ended up going to CIS, getting my degree as a psychotherapist.
Yes.
Jonathan, why don't you take the next question?
Oh, I was
Wherever
just
you-
going to say that's really interesting and phenomenal that you both were introduced to and got interested in psychedelic assisted therapy from a young age. And I think maybe it's becoming more usual, but I think most teenagers just are given it in a party kind of setting, which is maybe not the best setting. So it sounds like you were both very intentional from the beginning. And Veronika, did you actually, when you were in the Czech Republic, did you actually meet Stan Grof?
Yeah, so I did, I did few holotropic breathworks with him. And, I think as many people, I think he's been the most influential person in my life. And really,
Wow.
I owe him and his legacy, where I am today and what I'm doing. And just his, really just revolutionary thinking and introduction of the maps of consciousness and the way of working with these states has just impacted me very much.